If you are thinking of buying a property in Ontario and you're looking for an exact breakdown of how much you can expect to pay for it, then this video is just for you. In this video, I will be breaking down exactly how much it would cost to buy a typical resale single-family home with a purchase price of $800,000 and a down payment of 10%. Hopefully you will find these tips helpful, and if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Okay, let's get started. Before you even sign any agreement of purchase and sale, make sure you have money for a down payment and an extra 2 to 4% of the purchase price to cover additional costs associated with your purchase. I grouped this cost into 3 categories based on time when they need to be paid, and that is before closing, at closing, and after closing. So let's first talk about money you'll need to get ready before closing. Once your offer has been accepted, a deposit must be delivered to the listing brokerage. Your deposit counts towards your down payment, and it basically shows that you are serious and committed to buy. Sellers can ask for a certain dollar amount, or they can require a percentage of the purchase price. Let's say in our case, if our sellers are asking for a 5% deposit, it means they want you to deposit 5% of $800,000, which is $40,000. And you'll need to have this money available and ready to be released from your bank account as a deposit shortly after your offer has been accepted. Otherwise, you could risk losing the house. Now, let's assume you put a home inspection into your offer and sellers accepted it. In Ontario, you typically have 5 business days after the acceptance to get it done. A home inspection is not mandatory, but if market conditions allow you to get it done, I would recommend it. Your real estate agent will arrange for a licensed home inspector to come to the property. They will spend a few hours going through the property, assessing its condition. Once it's done, the inspector will send you a report with their comments and recommendations, along with the amount of money needed to get all the major issues fixed. Hopefully, this report will help to reassure you that everything is in order, and if you want to proceed with the purchase, your offer becomes firm. The average cost of a home inspection would be around $300 to $500 depending on the size and the location of the property. And if you are buying a property that has a septic tank or a well and you want to get some tests done, include this inspection cost in your budget. Once your deal is firm, your real estate agent sends the paperwork to your mortgage agent to arrange a mortgage for you, and to your lawyer to handle your paperwork and close the whole transaction. And this is a few weeks window when your mortgage agent, along with a lender, and your lawyer work together hand in hand to successfully close your deal. If you are getting a mortgage, the chance is that your lender will require an appraisal as a part of the mortgage approval process. It's not up to you whether or not you want to get the property appraised. It's the lender's decision, and the reason is simple. They are lending you money and they need to make sure the price is fair and reasonable, and that lending you money is a good investment. Some lenders would cover the appraisal costs. For example, if you are providing less than a 20% down payment, your lender will typically cover the costs. I included this fee into this illustration in case your lender will not cover it. The cost of this fee can range from $350 to $450 depending on the location of the property. So before closing, you'll need money for your deposit, the home inspection, and the appraisal. In our case, the total amount would be $40,950. A few days before closing, you'll be contacted by your lawyer's office advising you that your purchase is coming to a close. And this is also when they let you know how much money you will need to provide at closing to cover all costs associated with closing your purchase. And these closing costs include a lawyer's fee, a title insurance fee, a land transfer tax, adjustment fees, and mortgage-related fees. We will now go into each of these in detail, starting with our first closing cost, the lawyer's fee. The minimum cost you are looking at would be around $1,600, and this fee covers everything your lawyer and their staff would do for you, such as performing a title search, purchasing a title insurance, registration of your mortgage, or registration of deed. You will also pay for search costs, postage, and admin fees related to your transaction. The next thing to be aware of is the title insurance, which is pretty much standard when buying a property in Ontario. It is an insurance protecting you from real estate fraud or any title defect. It's a one-time payment around $750, and it lasts as long as you own the property. Then the next non-optional fee in Ontario is the land transfer tax, and this one can be huge. Some people know that this fee exists, some have no idea. But even for those who are aware of this fee, it can be a shock to see the amount they have to pay at closing. The provincial land transfer tax in Ontario varies based on the purchase price, and it can range from 0.5 to 2.5% of the purchase price. In our case, when buying an $800K home outside of Toronto, the land transfer tax will be $12,475. If the property was in Toronto, your tax would double, since for Toronto purchases there is not only provincial tax to be paid, but there is a municipal tax applied as well. The whole topic of the land transfer tax is more complex, and if you are interested, you can watch my other video that explains the land transfer tax in detail. The next fee included in the closing costs are the adjustment fees. You will not necessarily experience these costs, but it's good to be aware of them, and it's wise to put aside around $1,000 in case the sellers prepaid their property taxes or utilities in advance. If they did, you need to pay the sellers back the prorated amount. And the last closing fee I want to talk about is the provincial sales tax on mortgage default insurance. If you are buying a home with less than a 20% down payment, you must purchase a mortgage default insurance. This insurance is a requirement, and it's not protecting you. It's protecting your lender in case you will stop paying your mortgage payments and you will go to default. The insurance premium ranges from 0.6 to 4% of the mortgage amount. You do not have to pay this cost upfront. It can be added to your mortgage, and it will be included in your regular mortgage payments and paid off over the life of your mortgage. So for example, if you are buying an $800K home with a 10% down payment, the mortgage default insurance applied to your deal will be $22,320. If this amount is added to your mortgage, then your total mortgage amount will increase by the amount of this premium. Your new mortgage amount will then be the purchase price minus your down payment plus the mortgage default insurance premium. So in the case of our $800K purchase, the new mortgage amount will be $742,320. While this mortgage insurance premium can be included in your mortgage amount, there is a provincial sales tax applied to this premium that cannot be included in your mortgage amount, and it must be paid with cash. In Ontario, an 8% PST on a premium of $22,320 would be $1,785.60, and this amount will be included in your closing costs. I leave the link to this calculator in the description of this video. So to close this imaginary transaction, your lawyer's office will ask you to bring a check covering the closing costs and the rest of the down payment. In our case, you will be bringing a check in the amount of roughly $58,000, which is the total of the remainder of the down payment of $40,000 and the closing costs of $18,000. And finally, let's not forget the after-closing costs, such as the cost of a moving truck or connection charges for utilities. To cover these costs, try to budget for around $2,500. So with that last fee, here is the sum of money you need to have at your disposal when purchasing a single-family resale home in Ontario, outside of Toronto, with a purchase price of $800,000 and a down payment of 10%. You'll need to have around $101,000, from which $80,000 would be for a down payment and around $21,000 to cover all additional costs we talked about here. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you'd like to talk more about how I can possibly help you find a home or help you with financing your purchase, use the link in the description of this video and book a call with me. I would love to talk to you. Thank you for watching and have a great day.